All right, guys, I'm going to talk a little bit about simply one of the strongest men to ever live, at least in terms of lifts, some pretty impressive bench presses, squats, deadlifts, etc. And that is Scot Mendelson. Now, this picture of Scott here, this is kind of a famous pic on the internet. This is when Scott tore his pec. My understanding is he did not have it surgically repaired, and he was still able to go on and put up some massive weight after this pec healed on its own, by the way. Scott started out as a bodybuilder, is my understanding, and he just kind of transitioned into weightlifting, powerlifting, etc. From there, Scott's a big dude, or was a big dude, probably still is actually. 6'1", got up to nearly 400 pounds in his prime. Quite simply, he is one of the most legendary lifters in history. You know, a lot of guys just hang out in the gym have heard Scot Mendelson. He picked up a magazine involving any kind of strength feats in the gym. It's gonna, probably have a article or a picture of Scot Mendelson in there. He actually did a little arm wrestling a little later on, and right now he owns a marijuana dispensary with Eric Roberts. A lot of you guys know Eric Roberts from a lot of B films. He's the brother of Julia Roberts. Scott, like I said, is a quite a legendary figure in the world of weightlifting. He broke 60 world records, and just a real incredibly powerful individual. Some of these are, there's guys that have done the things that he's done too at this point. But Scott's name is just corresponds with pure strength. Scott's done some pretty incredible things. Raw bench press, 715 pounds. Equipped bench press, the 275-pound class, 1,030 pounds, 1,000 freaking pounds over your chest. And I know these bench shirts, they add a ton of weight to your lift. 300 pounds. That's pretty incredible. Equipped bench press, done in the gym, just mess around the gym with the shirt on. 1,200 pounds. 1,200 pounds. He just put the shirt on in the gym and said, "Hey, I'm going to bench 1,200 pounds with this shirt." That's crazy. 900-pound squat, not below parallel like a competition lift. That's still pretty damn heavy, regardless. 880-pound deadlift. Of course, you got guys, deadlifting over 1,000 now. Look, dig this one. Raw bench press, 650. He did 8 times. 8 times raw. Now, that is pretty incredible, no matter what generation you're talking about. Scott was involved in a car accident in 2004. It sent him to intensive care for 3 weeks. Fractured his skull, broken ribs, broken leg. Right foot was held on only by its skin. After a dozen surgeries, his right ankle was finally removed, and he was left with one leg about 2.5 inches shorter than the other. So he obviously cannot compete in powerlifting anymore. Obviously, the deadlift and the squat are out of the question. So yeah, he's got his own personal training center in Sherman Oaks called Fitness Individualized Training. And as I said, he runs a dispensary with Eric Roberts. But these are pretty incredible numbers, even by today's standards. It's pretty impressive. Just the fact of having, 1,000 pounds over your chest, shirt or not, I mean, that's just got to be just an incredible feeling. The rush from that has got to be just mind-blowing. So Scot Mendelson, definitely one of the strongest guys to ever live. Of course, he got in a big hubbub with Vegan Gains. Vegan Gains was, talking some back and forth kind of stuff, like he does with everybody in the fitness and bodybuilding industry. Scott, I've seen him on Rick Drazen's show a couple times. Pretty interesting individual, pretty well-spoken guy. and you know, not to be messed with in the gym, probably even to this day in terms of bench pressing. Uh, like I said, he got into arm wrestling um, later on because you know, he'd hurt his left shoulder in the car accident, I believe. So he had to try something new because he you know, was a competitor. And he said that you know, somebody said, hey, you should try arm wrestling, and he went and did, and he was rather successful at it. Not one of the top guys in the world at it, but nevertheless presented a new challenge for him. So yeah, you can read about Scott Mendelson all over. You can see, I think one of his benches over 1,000 is on YouTube. Probably more than one, actually, I'm sure. Scot Mendelson, simply one of the strongest guys to ever live. Quite frankly, a legendary figure in powerlifting.